Hey everybody, Caleb here, and today we're going to finish this thing. I was going over this real quick, see if we really needed to do fret work, and I've got a couple of frets that, yeah, they need it. So we're going to do a real quick fret leveling. But we're going to knock that out really fast right here at the beginning. I'll get that done, and then we'll be ready to move on. We still got to put tuners on this thing, and then this Kalamazoo is going to be ready to go. So, step one, really light fret leveling. I'm not putting any weight down on this guy, just letting the weight of the file do any of the work. If anything, I'm holding some of that weight off. I noticed most of my bad spots were up high, so I'm kind of focusing in there, but I still got to hit the whole thing so it doesn't end up with a low spot up here and a high spot back here. Okay, that's good. Not much more than that needed. Off camera, I did go ahead and make a saddle for this. This is way, way, way oversized, you can see. But it does fit in the slot very snugly. It's actually a little bit of work to get it in there. And it's super, super, super tall. So that's good. We're looking good there. We're going to finish off this fret job real quick, and then we're going to put tuners on this thing, and then we can start fitting that saddle properly. Now what I gotta go do is go through here and take my rounding file and make sure there's no flat spots on these frets. Flat spots will buzz on your strings, so you don't want that. You want a nice peak of rounded fret. Alright, that's good. Now what we'll do is we'll take a piece of high grit sandpaper. This is 6 or 1200, and we'll kind of start working the file marks out. You could cover up all the wood if you wanted to, but I'm going to end up cleaning it up with a razor blade next. It already needs it. So there's no point in me taping this whole thing off if I'm going to end up cleaning up that wood anyway. But this starter step, this really starts knocking out all the file marks. This gives a nice even shine to all of the frets, so they look all about the same. What we'll end up doing is polishing significantly higher than this. We'll end up polishing significantly higher than this, just so we know that it's a good color. And they feel good. So now we'll start with the micro polishing pads. As soon as I find the first one. So these are about the same as sandpaper. They just go really higher grit, and they're really good for polishing metal parts. This shouldn't take too long. If we go quick. Alright, this is already looking really, really good, those frets. It's kind of hard to get the full image yet with the board still being pretty dirty. But I think as soon as we're done here, what we'll do is I'll grab a razor blade that I pulled out just a little bit ago to clean this up. And we go through here. I'll try to get this where you can see it pretty good. And we just kind of scrape across these frets. There's a little bit of fingernail grooves up in here. I'm not going to bother working those all the way out. I think some of it lends to the age of the instrument and the story. And as long as you don't really notice too much, I think they really let you know how old this guy is, how much it's been through. You can already see it here, how much cleaner this is than down the way. You can still see those fingernail grooves, but they really do, I think, kind of tell a story about how old this guy is. And you don't want to get rid of all of that. Okay. That's looking pretty good. What we'll do to finish this board off is I'll grab some oil. And we'll just oil this board and it will really finish it off nice and clean. Yeah, that's a good look. That's funny. On camera it looks a little darker than it looks in person. It's got a really light color to it in person. On camera it comes out a little bit darker, but it looks really good. We'll take some cloth here and wipe off all the excess. Rub it in if we need to. Really finish it off. And there we go. That is a fretboard, nice and clean. Well polished frets, should feel great. So let me go grab the new tuners we're putting in here, and we'll get started on that next. We're happy with our fret job. We're going to put these tuners on here. If you remember me saying it, I had to put new bushings in here, and they're conversion bushings, so they have a smaller inner diameter and a larger outer diameter, because at one point this has been drilled out for bigger tuners. So now that that's been done, these slot in there really good because these tuners are now what actually fits, and these are more like age-appropriate tuners. And I've already filled all the old holes with little bits of wood and glued them up, but now I need to drill holes for new screw holes so we can actually attach these. So we're going to do that really quick. Okay. And now I need to get in the box of tuners, and I need the screws. These are the tuners that I just put down there. These Clousons. And I've got, so here's the bushings that came with them and the screws to put them in. So we'll go ahead and put those in now. But I won't need the bushings, I just need the screws. So I'll put those in and then we'll be good to move on. Well, I got mail. Jeff Kemp emailed me a couple of weeks ago and asked if I wanted some spare parts that he had. He said he was moving and he didn't really need them, so he asked me if I wanted them. And of course, I said yes. I said, thank you very much, Jeff. I'll help you cover some postage if you need it. So he sent me some packages here, and I was not expecting this volume of package, I'll be honest. So I figured we'd open these up on camera and see what all Jeff sent, because unboxing is always fun. So I'll open these up real quick. These are really heavy. I think there's books in here, honestly. Oh, these are self-stick boxes, so that's not going to open that, is it? Okay, we're starting with some books. Electronic projects for musicians. I'm actually interested in that. The Illustrated History of the World's Greatest Amplifiers. That's a cool thing to have sitting around. The Tube Amp book. Another great. I really like these reference books for whenever you have to go look something up. That's why I bought that the Gibson book, the pre-war Gibson book that has basically all the production numbers on all that stuff. I really like those reference books. They're good for well, hard references for any time you need to know something. Box number 2. Alright, so we got some parts. There's a Fender Stratocaster pickguard, brand new looks like. Here's one just like it, maybe not quite so brand new. Some more books. The Guitar Amp Handbook, the Guitar Pickup Handbook, a Tone Manual, Guitar Effects, and Guitar Rigs. No small collection of books here. Guitar Player Repair Guide. This one's Dan Irwin. I'd never remember how to say his last name, but that's the guy that's on the StuMac videos. See, I recognize this book. How to make your electric guitar play great. That's Dan again. Fender Stratocaster book. And then Guitar Electronics for Musicians. Well, that is a stack of books. It is going to look like I know what I'm talking about. Well, it's going to look like it. It may not sound like it. So then I got 2 more big boxes here. We'll see what's going on with these. I knew he was going to send me some books. I wasn't expecting quite that volume, and the same goes for these 2 big boxes here. Okay, we got stuff. Some kind of stuff. Packing. Okay, we got, I can definitely tell this is tuners, I think. Schaller usually makes tuners. Oh, look at those. Those are cool. Some Schaller tuners. Some, I'd say rosewood buttons. Assorted electronics, perhaps. There's definitely some assorted electronics. Here's some tuners that say Fender on them. We got potentiometers and switches, amp plugs, not necessarily amp plugs, but it could be. As well as guitar plugs, and I think that's a guitar pedal plug. Got a replacement handle for an amplifier. Yeah, I'll try to put this on here where you can see it. Whole box of stuff. Oh, guitar neck rest. I have been wanting one of those. There's that. I hate this thing. You can't see it. I hate this thing. I mean, it's okay. It's just always in my way. I've been looking for something a little bit more low profile. we'll see if I want to use that guy. That's cool. More parts. Oh, we're getting into electronics. Because here's is this an amp kit? Or an amp kit, a pedal kit? It may be. Here's another enclosure for a guitar pedal. I'm hoping these are instructions. Yep, these are instructions for building a pedal kit. And in here we've got, it looks like Stratocaster pickups, 3 pickups, and some mounting sundries. And it keeps going. I'm going to have more side projects than I know to do it. Well, I kind of already do. I'm going to have even more. Okay, more electronics. I see resistors. Here's some Strat knobs and a truss rod cover. Here's some amp knobs. We got Strat back plates and knobs. We got Strat plastic and covers. More amp knobs. More amp knobs. Some screws. Some black, I'd call these ebony tuning buttons. No shortage of anything in here. Alright, but it keeps going because we still have another box. There's more parts in here. I don't know where to start. Let's start with this, I guess. It's right on top. What do we got in here? This looks like... I have no idea. Not a clue. Literally no idea. Oh boy. We got vintage guitar parts. Here's an old tailpiece. Capacitor. Is that those pickups? They are pickups. Golden Age vintage vibe. Looks like humbuckers. We got some knobs, a 3-way switch, some more potentiometers, another output jack, a couple of bridges, vintage styling. Those are going to be super helpful. They're always annoying to go find. Slide that stuff back in there. Start working on some of these. Here's some assorted tuners that say Washburn. Classical tuners, old acoustic guitar tuners, more classical tuners. I've got a few bags that look like this. More tuners. These are kind of nice. This is that StewMac kit for doing something. I'm trying to remember what it is. Nut slotting. This is that jig for nut slotting. Actually, this is really cool. These are really expensive. Actually, everything from StewMac's expensive, but this is really cool. So this is for doing nut slot depth, making sure that it ends up right. Cool. I don't know where to put everything. Here's some black tuners. So we can go through here. Zip ties, probably for wiring. Set of screwdrivers. Oh, step gauge for an actual gauge for measuring fret height and that sort of thing. That's cool. And it keeps going. Brass bridge pins. I have never tried brass bridge pins. I know they used to kind of be in style and they've kind of passed. We might have to try those at some point and just see what I think. Here is a Allen wrench and some screws for set Allen wrench. Oh geez, it keeps going. Okay. Well, cool, I needed a wire. This is something, I have no idea. Swingmaster pickups, tailpiece, another tailpiece for an electric, some pickup mounts, some plastics probably went to whatever guitar those came off of, a Stumac box. We'll open that up here in a second, as soon as I can find my knife. I guess I can't, so as good as gone it is. Okay, there's a full set of humbuckers. This is an old tailpiece of some kind. Electronics. I imagine those all go together, or did at one point. This looks like electronics to a guitar pedal. This is wire for some guitar. These tuners. Yep, here's 6 tuners. Safe fender on them. Big spool of wire. Big spool of wire in a different color. And harness installation tube kit for tone switch harness. I'm not sure what this is for. I'll have to look it up. But there's whew, that's a lot of stuff. So once again, Jeff Camp, tons of thanks. I've got a lot of stuff I now have to stash somewhere, which I'm already hurting for. So, but no, a lot of useful stuff, a lot of stuff that I'm excited to try out and look at. Once again, thanks, Jeff. Alright, so I got those tuners on there, and that looks really good. I really like that look. It's got a nice, good, clean look to it. Those are looking really good. They match the look really well. Make this guitar look like it's, the right age. So, next thing we got to do is work on this saddle a little bit. I've got this saddle made. It's got a radius top and everything, and it fits great. It's just super duper super tall, so that's not gonna really fly. So we're gonna have to do something about that. But really, we're close to putting strings on this thing. I don't think we're that far away. I need to go remember what I did with the bridge pins, if it came with bridge pins. And I need to get some strings, and I'm going to shave this thing down quite a bit. This is super tall. I just needs to come down to significantly lower than this. Like, I can almost cut the thickness of this Sharpie off. Somewhere in there. So I'm going to go shave this down. I'm going to have to go outside to do that because that's where all my sanders are. But we'll go shave this down. I'll do maybe a little bit of cleanup, get some bridge pins out for this, and we'll be ready to go. I'll get some strings. Like, we're talking about stringing this thing up here pretty quick. So what I'm going to do with this saddle, because we're kind of talking about it here, I'm not going to shape it. It's kind of a through saddle. It goes all the way through the bridge here. Like, there's no end point. You're just kind of supposed to shave it down when you're done. So I'm not gonna shave it down until we're done fitting it, getting the string height right, and then I'll shave it down, shave the ends off so they match flush with the bridge. I'll end up doing that last just so that it fits perfectly and it looks really good. It's just gonna take a minute, once we get there, and it's another thing for me to nice and dirty this thing up. But basically, I'm gonna go shave this down. I'll lower the height by quite a bit because this is crazy tall, and then we'll come back. Alright, I've got strings out, I've got bridge pins in, I've got the saddle lowered down. I think we're ready to put some strings on this old Kalamazoo. So, let's get started. Let's try and get started. I got a feeling the saddle's still going to be tall. That's okay. I can deal with that. This is not going to go easy. Yeah, it's still going to be pretty high, and that's okay. We've still got quite a bit of saddle left. Hopefully it's measurably high, and that way I can lower it down in one fell swoop, and we can be pretty much done with this guy after this. It's good news that we're getting strings on it, really. When this got here, it was a little worse for wear. Well, I'm just about done here. Let me go ahead and get this finished, tuned up, and then we can look at the string height. Find out where we're at. Alright, I forgot to film getting the saddle set up, but we're sitting pretty happy right now on string height. I went and shaved this down, and it's actually looking phenomenal. I still need to trim the edges of the saddle. I still need to trim the string ends, so let's do that real quick. Cool. I gotta shave that saddle down on the sides so it makes a nice smooth transition. I think that's the last thing I need to do before we play this thing, and I am fairly happy with it. Now, I've got a couple options on how I want to do that. For starters, I think I'm just going to grab a block and some sandpaper. Maybe a file. We'll grab a file. See if I can't do it a little faster with that. And I'm going to try to be pretty careful here as we shave some of this away. This will work. It's going to take me a minute, but it will work. I could get out the Dremel too, and I might just do that because it might just go faster. And that's what I'm going to do. We'll go faster over cleaner, I guess. Let me get this in a good, comfortable spot. Not trying to hide it from you. I'm trying to keep the dust from going everywhere. Okay. Make a huge mess? that's accomplished. Let's see what we can't do with some sandpaper now. Alright, let me get cleaned up, and then I think we're going to be ready to play this. Well, we just about got this thing done. Giving her a last little tuning. After clipping those strings, they always jump around a little bit. And brand new strings, they're still stretching, so... It's cool. I like this. It's still a little dusty from working on that saddle. I tried to clean it off best I could, but you know, I really need to take a damp cloth and hit it. But I'm trying to get this this video done here, so here we are. So I'm not totally done with this thing yet, but oh man, is it in better shape than when I got here. This thing fought me, if you remember. This is I pulled the neck on this. I tried to pull the neck on this any number of ways, and then I ended up taking that extension off and finding out the top covered up the neck joint so it wouldn't come out. So I had to take that all apart, cut a hole in the top basically so I could get the neck joint out. And even then it didn't want to come out, but we got it. I think it's a cool little guitar, this old Kalamazoo. We've done a lot to get it playing real good, and I'm still just seeing dust. I wiped it off, but you know, you start playing it, and any that was in any little crevices starts vibrating its way out. But it's looking really good. I did go ahead and stick an end pin in it that I had, as well as, you know, the bridge pins. I did that pretty early on, and it looks good. This old Kalamazoo, I'm real happy with it. Thank you all for joining me on this this adventure that was this old Kalamazoo. It has been quite the run. But it plays really good now. If my armrest wasn't in my way. I don't know anybody who's gonna play their Kalamazoo up here, but you could if you wanted to. But anyway, once again, thank you all for watching. Once again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning into this this old Kalamazoo repair. I'll see you later.